Senator John Thune, Republican of South Dakota, has been elected Senate Majority Leader, setting the stage for him to replace retiring Senator Mitch McConnell, who has held the top Senate GOP leadership job for the past 18 years. Thune has served as Senate Republican Whip, the number two ranking position in the Senate GOP leadership since 2019, and largely managed operation on the Senate floor after McConnell suffered a concussion from a fall in 2023. Thune beat Senator John Cornyn, Republican of Texas, by a vote of 25-24. According to two sources familiar with the vote, Thune led after the first ballot. He won 25 votes, while Cornyn won 15 votes, and Senator Rick Scott, Republican of Florida, collected 13 votes. I am extremely honored to have earned the support of my colleagues to lead the Senate in the 119th Congress, and I am beyond proud of the work we have done to secure our majority in the White House, he said in a statement after the vote. This Republican team is united behind President Trump's agenda, and our work starts today. Thune is well liked among his Senate Republican colleagues, and his affable, humble approach to managing the conference has earned the trust and confidence of fellow GOP senators. He announced his intention to run for leader shortly after McConnell said in February that he would retire from GOP leadership at the end of the year. His main competition for the past 8 months of the race has been Cornyn, a formidable fundraiser who served as Senate Republican Whip from 2013 to 2019. Cornyn tried to portray himself in the race as an agent of change, promising to give rank-and-file Republicans more opportunity to debate and amend legislation on the Senate floor. Thune, however, had many opportunities to work with colleagues over the past 6 years to help them get votes on amendments and collect political capital along the way, even if some GOP senators felt frustrated from time to time when they couldn't get a vote on a particular amendment. Thune promised, as a lengthy candidate form with Cornyn and Scott, to give senators more opportunities to amend bills and to strive for more unity in the GOP conference. He pledged to hold regular meetings with Speaker Mike Johnson to improve coordination with House Republicans and with Vice President-elect J.D. Vance to stay in sync with the Trump White House. He also agreed to host a Senate GOP issue conference in December to discuss strategies for advancing Trump's agenda and to prioritize bringing regular appropriation bills to the floor in the next Congress to avoid the need to pass another omnibus spending package before Christmas. GOP senators discussed a variety of topics at the Tuesday forum, including a strategy to raise the federal debt limit next year, completing the U.S.-Mexico border wall, and proposals to eliminate the Department of Education, according to sources who participated in the meeting. Senator Mike Rounds, who endorsed Thune early in the race, said he pursued votes with a soft touch, asking colleagues for their support without demanding commitments. We've never asked anybody for commitments as we work our way through. That's not a fair thing to do, particularly in a secret ballot. Rounds said, if they offer a commitment, you take it, and we've had really good results in that regard. This goes on for a little bit longer. But yeah, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. I'll say that Trump is probably happy because him and McConnell's relationship just went to, it really fizzled out, especially after the 2020 election and the whole, it was rigged, it was stolen. But also I should say that I don't. So here's the thing. Republicans have majorities in the House and Senate, more so the Senate than the House by all accounts. We're still waiting for the votes apparently to be finished counting for the House. It's something a little touch and go. But what's interesting to me is that, whether you like McConnell or not, he has been one of the more effective party leaders of the past at least several decades. And I think Thune is probably going to figure out that it's not as easy to get along with members of your own party as it is when you're not in a leadership position. Because I remember, right, Trump's first year of his original term, 2017, and it was fraught with insanity. I mean, we had an attempt at repealing Obamacare with a healthcare proposal, the American Healthcare Act, that was so disgusting and despised that members of Trump's party, Collins, Murkowski, McCain, voted it down in the Senate. They were able to, I think, get it passed in the House, but it couldn't make it, and they withdrew it. And when you're I know the big foreign policy issues right now are Israel and Ukraine, but North Korea was all the talk that year, and they were very not receptive to the things he was saying about Kim Jong-un. In fact, they only passed one, if I remember correctly, one major bill, which was the tax cut all the way at the end of the year. So, like, for a whole year, they just were struggling to really get anything done in spite of having complete control of Congress, which would end up setting the stage for the blue wave of 2018, where the Democrats took back the House for the first time in 8 years. And I think what's gonna happen is Thune will be someone that tries to like cheerlead for a lot of Trump stuff, right? Talking about the border wall, and they're not getting rid of the Department of Education. They've been singing that song for 30 years, and I refuse to believe they're going to be effective enough to vote out. Like, the only way you could get rid of that is if you found a way to tie it to something for the Supreme Court. That seems to be the only group of people that can actually be effective at getting rid of something we've had for a long time. But putting that aside, I think in all likelihood, Thune is going to realize after a few months that this is not as easy of a job as McConnell made it look. McConnell has his issues. He is I mean, there's a reason why he's one of the most despised senators in all of America, but he was effective as a leader for his party from both a fundraising standpoint and a legislative one. In fact, more, he's called the Grim Reaper because he would just stop all the Democrats' proposals from being able to actually become law. And Thune is, you know, guys, he's been in the Senate for a few terms. Took out, who was it, Tom Daschle, the Democratic leader, 2004. But I don't think he's going to be anywhere near as effective. Or last as long as McConnell. He'll probably be getting some challenge to his leadership depending on how the next couple of midterms go. Like, I'd be very surprised if we get him for more than maybe, well, hell, I shouldn't even say 4 years. Like, I don't think, if the Republicans are not able to pass any stuff that's either good or anything at all, it's going to lead to a repeat of the 2018 midterm, where the Democrats take either the House or Senate, and then they spend the next 2 years blaming the minority party for why they can't pass anything. But yeah, this is it's change on the outside, continuity on the inside. Because I think this is actually to the detriment of the GOP, because they're getting rid of one of their more pragmatic people for someone that's not as tested, and I think that'll play into the Democrats' hands.